Man.
Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, welcoming you back to another edition of Friday Night Skype. Joining me tonight is a whole slew of Let's Players as usual. We have Utarai, B-Dude, We don't have time for introductions, just naming everyone off. Alta Guide, Ryan Phoenix, Dilly DV, Genray, Generation 71. We're welcomed once again by an awesome Let's Player, Liamsixx, and our kind of official guest of the night is Mr. Noxxxxxxxxxxx. Woo!
Yeah.
We should make it like a rule that we've got to like applaud the person that's the guest. It makes them feel more special. Yeah! Woo!
That just sounds like fapping. I'm not gonna lie.
So anyhow, it's great that I have two guests because we couldn't really come up with any great gaming news to really speak of. But PAX did just happen this past weekend, and Liam was there. And Liam is our go-to guy. He's our man in the field, if you will, when it comes to PAX-related activities. So we'll open the floor up to him. I don't really have any questions right off the bat. I mean, if you just want to talk about it, like as far as it just being a convention, what it's all about, for people that maybe don't know anything about it.
Well, Johnny, my first question back to you is, what did you just say? Because my internet decided to cut out.
Yeah, no, it totally
Okay,
it happens for everybody, trust me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good start. Good start, everyone. Well, can you just talk a little bit about PAX? Like, just a synopsis of it, like what it's all about for people that don't know anything about it, maybe.
Okay, I'll start from the beginning. PAX is, first off, short for Penny Arcade Expo, which is just an overall gaming convention, be it video gaming, board, tabletop gaming, card gaming, just you name it, it's gaming. And it's all sorts of awesome. And I've gone 2 years now, fantastic every time. It's not run by any huge company or anything. Penny Arcade is just a webcomic. That's more than a webcomic. It started out as that, and it took off. So like, hey, let's hold a gaming convention. Mm-hmm. So that's what PAX is. But as of last year, a lot of the big Let's Players have started attending PAX. So it's sort of, as far as I'm concerned, a big convention for Let's Players to gather and hang out and just be awesome.
Cool. Well, it seems like it really started to take off, especially after like E3 became closed to the public and only became like a media-only thing. So, yeah, a lot of Let's Players go there. I'm definitely thinking about going there next year now that I've seen it. Because when I thought about it, I thought it was like a big, like, just wait in line kind of thing for, like, to play, like, a new video game that's going to come out. But it seems like there's a lot more to it than that.
I can honestly say, and Jack he can vouch for this too, in all 3 days, I didn't wait in any line.
Oh, really?
Except for the Runaway Guys panel, but we kind of botched that by going into the wrong panel.
Oh. Well, I remember seeing the video of that. Very, with Gnome Shark acting as Snake from Metal Gear, more or less. That's pretty awesome stuff. You got to hang out with NCS too. I mean, I would just love to hang out with him in a hotel room playing Mega Man 3. That would be awesome.
Oh, dude, there was so much to it. Like, actually, we had made plans to hang out earlier that week, but he didn't get back to me on the time. So I'm in Seattle on Thursday. I'm like, dude, are we still hanging out? And he's like, oh, God, I forgot. Yeah, come to the hotel room. It's all good. So what was really cool, and don't tell Chugga, but I got to play on the Runaway Guys equipment.
Oh.
Yeah, so they got an awesome projector. It really is cool. And, like, I was blown away by how much cool stuff there was. There was actual Japanese Nintendo GameCube controllers.
Oh, wow.
Which was interesting, to say the least. And even in Japan, the Z button is actually an English Z, or Z or whatever.
Yeah, the Z.
So that, like, just being there in that atmosphere was really cool. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to stick around for their project, but I shouldn't say what that is, but...
No, probably not. Yeah. I'm sure Chugga would find you and kill
you. He would find me and hunt me down, so I'll just spare myself that.
Yeah, but I gotta imagine those guys have a really, like, crazy technical setup, because I'm really terrible when it comes to the technical side of setting up anything. But those guys, like, when you see, video of their panels even, and you got, like, Chugga and Proton John setting up these really elaborate things, and then, like, even Nintendo Capri Sun's talked about it before, where he's just like, I'm just here to say things like in the bathroom.
See, the panel is the technical marvel. As far as the recording equipment goes, it's just, I find it cool that they managed to hook their Wii directly up to a projector as opposed to a TV. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool.
They have that at my gaming club, yeah. I know how to do that.
It's possible. It's just it's cool.
You just need
And
to
a lot of
do
people
it.
don't think about it right off the bat. Be like, oh, I could do this, you know.
Right, so it took us a minute to think outside the box for people to realize that's something they could do. And as far as screen capturing equipment, though, I think all I saw was a Hapagway. I like to call it Hapagway. It's just a Hapag, so I think that was all I saw as far as equipment went. But there was a lot of cool stuff. And of course the Blue Yeti microphone, that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so just hung out. I actually wanted NCS to show me if he could beat Snake Man with the power gun, because when I had done that with Jack, I couldn't do it. 4 hours of nothing.
You know, if I tried to beat some of them, I don't know if there's many Mega Man bosses I could beat with, like, just the gun, because, like, NCS, he definitely knows a bit more about Mega Man than I do. Like, he knows all the patterns to the enemies, even. For me, I just go in there guns blazing most of the time, and, you know, it works out pretty well.
The pattern really will break anything. Like, he was telling me how elaborate Shadow Man was, and that blew my mind.
Oh man, Shadow Man beating him with just the regular Mega Buster, that's insane. Like, that's an insane fight.
Definitely.
Feels like he's always on top of you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, so that was actually Thursday. The expo didn't start till Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, a lot of what I did then was just went to the Runaway Guy panel and hung out with Jack, which was one of my main focuses there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just did whatever, just played games most of the time. I beat my Ocarina of Time record. That was cool.
Nice.
I beat it by 2 minutes, from 33 minutes to 31 minutes.
Well, there you go. Congratulations to you on that. I hope people were watching you at least when you did it.
Nope.
That's the way it goes in life, kids.
Apparently, people seeing Child Link in Ganon's Tower wasn't all that interesting.
Keep walking. It's past.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I did it like 7 times and no one noticed. So there was that. That was Friday, but Saturday was when things actually... Saturday's always the coolest day of a convention.
Oh, yeah,
Saturday was the day I couldn't vlog anything because I left my SD card in my computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that because Jack wanted me to take a picture of something, and I'm like, I can't. I don't have my SD card. And he was like, shit. But anyway, that day I was like, you know what, I'm going to hang out with Peekle, just because I could. I don't know how many of you guys know Peekle.
Oh, yeah. We know Peekle.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got a nice beard, too. Would not
Does have
expect
a nice
him to be a beard guy, but, yeah.
I would have touched it if it weren't for the mono.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, the pack sickness. That's what happens when you crowd enough gamers with their,
I have Paxbox. He had mono. Mononucleosis is something much, much worse.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna hang out with Pico. So I just walk over and start talking to him, and I get sucked into this like tornado of doing things. And by doing things, I mean playing board games about smuggling cargo.
Nice.
And that's doing things.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Of course. So, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. But then they're like, hey, let's go out for dinner. And I'm like, all right, sweet. And they're like, yeah, you're totally welcome to come. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. So we go have dinner very far away. Very, very far away. Creepily far away, in fact. And Saturday night, it's like, we just start walking back to the convention center because I think we were going to go play a few rounds of Brawl or something. And Josh Jepson, Luca Jin, not attacking Toucans, just Josh Jepson, Luca Jin, Proton John, and a few Canadians that John was friends with, so we just call them the Canadians.
The Canadians. They're the guys that sit in the back, they don't talk, but they'll beat you up real good.
We never really figured out what all their names were. We just call them the Canadians.
That's what happens when you're not a famous Let's Player at PAX. You just become
you're
the
just
Canadian.
somebody.
It's funny because in this little group, me and B-Dude are just referred to as the Canadians.
The Canadians. Team Canada over there.
No, that's not good. One moment. All right. So, yeah, and so all those guys, and I forgot to mention Super Genius. So they all walk over and I'm like, hey, let's go play... If you've ever played Cards Against Humanity, have you ever heard of that?
Never heard of that one. No.
It's okay. Have you ever heard of Apples to Apples?
I played Apples to Apples a number of times.
Okay. Well, it's basically Apples to Apples, but all the responses are really, really raunchy.
Oh.
it's really horrible. It's either racist or dirty or something like that. So we're all sitting around and we're playing that game, and it was awesome to hang out with some of the biggest LPers out there and play a dirty card game.
Yeah, I mean that's what PAX is all about too. You know, I mean,
Dirty card games?
yeah, exactly.
I am very interested in this current topic. You're gonna have to tell me more about this game.
Well, I mean, whenever I've been to a convention and I've just been sitting around playing a card game or something like that, I always feel like, damn, I'm really like wasting my time. But if I was doing it with people that I'm, maybe never going to get a chance to see again, then it suddenly becomes amazing.
Exactly. Like, even just one of the most recent tweets that I see on here is just Luka Jin saying, "Do you hear that? Sounds like someone's on fire at Peakle." And like, I get what that means.
Inside
just 'cause
jokes.
I was there. There were so many inside jokes.
You've been
so
welcomed.
many.
Felt welcomed with open arms to the world of the elitist LPs.
That'd be really cool. That really would be.
Well, you'll always be an elite LPer in my eyes, at least, if it makes you feel any better.
That truly does.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so much cool stuff at PAX. Because seriously, I was under the impression that it was a lot like E3, where it was just, you go there, I know there is tons and tons of people. What was, like, your estimate of people there? Like 100,000 or something?
Yep, 100,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane, because we used to have a really big, well, we still do have this really big anime convention in Chicago, and they probably got, like, around 30,000 each year, and I thought that was pretty gigantic, but to have 100,000 people, that's just, insane. You're not going to run into people unless you plan on meeting up with them in a place like that, really. Or
Actually, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, maybe. But,
and generally draws around 25,000 people.
Really? Yeah, I mean, well, it's a little disappointing that, like, the really big gaming conventions are out either on the East or the West Coast. Wish there was something more in the middle. I mean, that's mostly for me, because I live in Chicago, but...
Yeah, there needs to be a PAX Mid or something.
Yes. Middle of the road PAX. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, actually. But, there were so many challenges. Like, I remember seeing a video with you taping NCS doing the Star Fox level 1 challenge. And it was like, damn, because they're going to have a lot of those at MakeFest. And I'm really looking forward to those. I've seen some other people do those
With
before.
NCS.
What was that?
Yeah, it cut out again.
Oh, did it? Oh, man. Sorry,
Yep,
guys.
cut
Skype
out
is
completely.
not liking me lately. I don't know why. Because it sounds fine on my end. The challenge corner, if you will, like they have at MakeFest, where you have the video of NCS playing the first level of Star Fox 64.
Yep.
I mean, that stuff looks really cool, because I'm a retro gamer at heart anyway, so I'm glad to see they have stuff like that there.
Oh, yeah, there was all sorts of stuff. Like, that challenge in particular was get through Corneria without taking any damage.
Yeah,
And,
that's
like,
what it seems
that-
like.
Like, that isn't the hard part. The hard part is doing that and getting the highest possible score.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was stuff like, get the best possible picture of Mew in Pokemon Snap. That's hard.
Well, that game is addictive as hell, though. Very short game, but definitely a lot
Absolutely.
of fun. I mean,
I beat it in a day once.
well, yeah, I think it's pretty beatable in a day, if you know what you're
Oh,
doing.
no, 4 hours. 4 hours in a day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't mean like a whole 24 hours. I mean like in one day's time. I beat it.
Yeah.
I should get that. I wish I had an N64 still. If I had an N64, I'd be playing a lot more games like that, but...
And play Banjo-Kazooie.
And play Banjo. I've never, ever played Banjo-Kazooie. I really should. Everyone's playing
It's
it. They're playing it on the Game Grumps, too.
It's
so.
beautiful.
And it's the Game Grumps.
Well, there you go. So that's pretty much the sum up of PAX. Inside
That's
jokes,
PAX.
hanging out with some of the greatest Let's Players YouTube has to offer, and just an overall good time. As I always say, I've said it once, said it a bajillion times by now. If you're someone listening to this that has never been to a convention, but you're into anything nerdy, whether it be video games, anime, comic books, you really owe it to yourself to go to a convention, because they are just amazing, and you'll have endless amount of fun there. So go find one in your area and check it out, or go to any of these conventions. You could hang out with us. That's lots of fun. Yeah.
Hang out with us at MagFest. You can
We'll all
get
be at
drunk and
most of us will be at MagFest. So
we can get drunk and play Scrabble. It'll be loads of fun.
I'm sure that's like all like the 14-year-olds listening right now. They're all for that.
They're all for it. Be like, Udo's going to be there. We got to go now.
Anyhow.
Also, I forgot to mention it was drinking beer and playing dirty card games.
Oh, that's totally my thing. Totally my thing. I love me a good beer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Heineken,
Card games. Genray is working on a card game.
Yeah. You want to talk about that at all, Genray?
Not particularly, because I'm stealing all the ideas from Marvel, so...
All right. We don't want to get sued, so we're not going to talk about that tonight.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. Well, our actual guest is Nox, and he hasn't said anything, so he's got to say something in his Morgan Freeman-like voice.
Anything.
There you go. There's your money, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's what you paid for. So, well, Nox has been a longtime friend of all of us. It's been a hard time getting him to be on FNS because of how busy of a man he is. He's got a lot of work to do and all. But, I don't know. If you don't know him, Nox, tell us a little bit about yourself. If it was Nickelodeon Guts, I'd say, spill your guts.
Yeah, it's funny because, I don't know, really. I'm just a normal person that started YouTube doing Let's Plays and then Minecraft just worked out, so meh.
But you didn't mention your Morgan Freeman-like voice and the way that
Well,
you
I don't think so.
acquire that.
I don't think so
You're
personally,
so modest.
but all you guys constantly say that, so
Say hello, everyone. This is Noxxxxxxxxxxx Bulgar right now.
what do you mean?
It'll sound like Morgan Freeman. It always does.
Do you guys know who Morgan Freeman is?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I sound like Morgan
Just
Freeman.
do it. It'll be like,
He's
hello,
the Morgan-
everyone.
He's
This is
the Morgan
Noxxxxxxxxx
Freeman
Bulgar.
of
If I said,
players.
hello everyone, this is Noxxxxxxxxx Bulgar, that does not sound like
No,
Morgan
but you're
Freeman.
not.
Guys, you know what we should have done before Friday Night Skype? We should have gotten a text from March of the Penguins, line for line, and gave it to Nox.
Oh, yeah, because I'm sure
I
that's
mean-
exactly why he decided to come on here, to read lines from Morgan Freeman.
I mean,
That
there's
not
a,
everyone
I will
to
not
know
be
you.
your monkey. Damn it.
there's a hint of Freeman in there, but I don't know if he's on T to Morgan Freeman.
No,
offense.
he's just got a
The joke
very, very
that his
unique
voice is amazing and interesting to listen to, as is Morgan Freeman's.
Well, I'd agree.
There you go. Wow. All right. So Nox currently playing Majora's Mask. You know,
Don't remind me.
Good stuff.
no, I will remind you. You know, what can I say? It's just a little bit better than Star Fox Adventure. Just a little bit. You know.
You know what? Actually, I was looking at that today, and there are a few episodes of Star Fox Adventures that are like up over 1,000 to 2,000 views. So I'm actually surprised at how well that did.
You know, you should probably just put together a video of all those clips of Fox climbing ladders and put that out.
You know, that's actually
You could
pretty
make
decent
bank
idea.
on that one, I think.
That video would be
Just
2
time
years
it.
long.
Just time
everything.
it just right. You got it, you know. Oh, but let's
I
see.
could see it. Stop watching the corner or something, and just how many minutes I spent climbing ladders in that game.
It was a lot. But let's see. You're probably, if anyone doesn't know you that's listening to this right now, you're probably most famous for your Minecraft builds. So
That was cool.
So let's see. You started with Thunder Bluff from World of
Thunder
Warcraft,
Bluff.
and then it went to, I don't even know where it went to. You can tell better than I can. You want to talk about your history of builds?
Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy because with Minecraft, when I first started playing, I just saw it on a stream one day and said, oh, what's that? And then I saw these amazing builds on YouTube and never thought I'd be one of those people that, everyone likes my stuff. And, yeah, it's just crazy.
Well, it seemed like it was it might have been a case of right place at the right time, but it was an amazing build. I'm not a WoW player, so I can't really tell you how that was to scale, but what was the forum that you were featured on a forum for?
Yeah, MMO champion.
Yeah.
I remember
That was crazy.
number of days.
Yeah, BB must have really liked that one.
So
I'm sorry if I'm coming across as a nerd. I moderated that forum for a while.
no, that's fine. Any more insight to it is definitely welcomed. But yeah, and now, to be able to play with you in our own little Minecraft land of happiness, when
Yeah.
when Utorai is not trying to fill my house full of animals or set me on fire.
Good
tonight.
times.
Oh, good old Minecraft. Do you play a lot of Minecraft, Liam?
I bought it, but I never played it. I'm just not very creative. I don't build.
You can destroy. That's always fun.
Interestingly, as we speak, I'm building a song out of blocks,
Well,
which sounds really dumb, but I'll post it to YouTube and it'll make sense.
well, are you doing Mario Paint?
No, it's Fruity Loops, but it serves a similar function. Essentially, I'm recreating a Banjo-Tooie song.
Oh, well, there you go. People love that stuff.
It's been it's just for fun. But Minecraft.
But Minecraft back. Well, I mean, what can you say about Minecraft? It's great to see how it's progressed over the course of like the year and a half. I got it in January of 2011, and it was really bare bones basic then. But I probably played it for about 5 or 6 months just in the single player mode, and then I kind of fell out of it. But then playing it on a server, that's really the key. You've got to play it on a server with friends.
It's so much more fun.
That you can like chat with over Skype while you're doing it, and it's just like just go around in the dead of night, throw some armor and some weapons on, so kill some bad guys, and just find some sort of big cave and explore it, and there's no goal, there's no reason for you to do any of it, but just fun.
There's nothing quite like being in Skype with you guys, and then here's Johnny, he's gone, he's out 10 minutes out. Guys, I found diamonds. And then he just so happy, and then just this slew of rage because he killed himself in lava or something and lost everything.
Whenever I find diamonds, I die. That's just how it goes. It's a curse.
I just find anything and die. It's impressive. Talent, really.
Oh.
In the world of Minecraft, I'm a dog.
Thank you, Utorai. Thank you for that.
I had to add something.
That's true.
I built an underground church beneath Altus.
Well, Dilly made a freaking... Your transportation hub is insane. The amount of redstone circuitry that went into that. My gosh.
I wish we could show a screenshot right now of it, because it
we
literally...
show our Minecraft world that we
I know, it's pretty dirty. It's a pretty dirty, filthy build. It's pretty
For anyone
Guys, I forgot the door.
The door.
Oh, the door.
How could we
my
ever
gosh.
forget the door?
Oh, now
those
there's an inside joke right there. The freaking door.
Still don't know how I got there, but whatever.
I think it's hilarious. I think it was when Genray or Uto... No, it was Genray. When he first came on, we told him, don't touch the door. So he goes over and touches the door, Nox spawns some lightning, and it instantly kills him. And we're like, we told you! It's the god of the server!
Smite.
For those of you who don't know, it's just this bizarre thing. In our first build that we ever did, our first server area, which isn't around anymore, there was just a crater with a door in it, and we don't know how it really got there. It apparently came down from the heavens. So that's what doors do, right? Must be
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
But anyhow, Minecraft. Yeah, but it's really awesome to see all the different mods they've been making to it, and I even saw I always mention the guys at Far From Subtle who do video games awesome, and they did a Minecraft Olympics not too long ago, and you know what? It almost worked out. Almost. I mean, obviously some of the games like basketball that didn't really work out too well, but some stuff kind of worked out better than you might suspect. So that was kind of cool. And I think you could by this, definitely by the time the Olympics come around next time, or even the Winter Olympics, you'll probably be able to do stuff like that, because that game just expands so much.
Hey, Nox,
Honestly,
can I ask you a personal question? Nox?
Maybe.
Yes.
Well, not a personal question. It was not actually a personal question. As embarrassing as it is to admit, I have no idea how to download a mod or install a mod. So if after Friday Night Skype you want to help me with that, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, luckily for you, nowadays most people have installers and stuff anyway, so you just download it and click install, and it does everything for you.
Okay, then never mind.
Bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
Thank you, Nox.
Usually. Back in the day, you had to actually edit your jar file, and that was just
That was always fun.
tons of trouble.
Sounds like it. So, what are any of the big builds that you're working on now? Was it big castle thing that you were previously working on? Is that over with? I can't remember the real name for it.
Tepra? That's been over for a while.
Okay.
That one just, I don't even know. One day I decided, no, I'm going to build a mountain, a real-looking mountain. And then I just looked at it and said, wow, I think a castle would look pretty good there. And, then the result is the whole shebang.
Little bang
Got
there.
a little carried away there.
Well, it looks amazing. Where can people go? Is it you just go to the was it MMO Champion, whatever it was?
Yep.
Oh, that one, Thunderbluff would be on MMO. You could find it, but usually just playing at Minecraft.
All right.
And you can search Noxxxxxxxxxxx Bulgar, and you'll find all my stuff.
Find all of his stuff, and he's got some pretty fun stuff. Believe me, we've been happy to play around in it and destroy it, and yell at Nox to rebuild it for us, because we don't know what we're doing. at all. But anyhow, so what's your favorite game of all time, Nox? I don't even know. Well, for posterity's sake, I
My
ask you that.
favorite game of all time, which is strange because I am a gigantic, huge Legend of Zelda fan, but of all time is Donkey Kong Country 2, by far. So many hours put in that game. The game is incredible. To this day, I probably beat it once every 2 or 3 months just because I love it that much.
Yeah.
It's funny you should mention that, Nox, because I actually picked up that game today at a pawn shop for $5.
Well, my original thing was, well, when I was younger, I didn't actually own the game. And one of my father's friends bought it and couldn't beat the very last boss. Period. Bam. Couldn't beat K. Rool. And he told me, oh, well, take it home and, see if you can beat him. Well, instead of just beating him, I just played through the whole game and beat the game. And then he didn't believe me until I loaded it up on his Super Nintendo and showed him my file. And, yeah.
He was a lot tougher
just
in
lots
the
of
second
memories
one
there.
than the first one, that's for sure.
Best level is Web of the Woods. Hands down.
Which one's that one? That's not the one with the wind, is it?
I don't remember the spider's name, but you turn into the spider. And the whole level, you have to use his webs across it.
Oh.
There's no ground.
Okay, because easily the most memorable level for being so annoying for me was that level where the wind picks up really fast and you have the leaves in the foreground and you can see them moving. That level killed me over and over again. I forget what world it's in. I think it's in the 4th world, maybe 5th world. And yeah.
I think the most annoying for me, I want to say it's the last actual level where you have to race the other
parrot.
parrot.
With the Squawks race, yeah.
Oh my god, so annoying.
That's a rough one too. Oh man, I've always considered maybe doing a Let's Play of that game, but just to get all the DK coins, because I kind of would want 100% it. I mean, just for the sake of doing that, but have you gotten all the DK coins before in it?
Only one time, and speaking of that, I watched all of NCS's Donkey Kong Country 2, I just had to. And the amount of horror in his voice sometimes, and you could just sense that he spent hours and hours trying to do that thing.
He put himself through a lot. He was just he couldn't probably sleep at night because he had to get all the DK coins. Same when there's Donkey Kong Country 3 Let's Play that I think is probably still going on.
It is.
Yeah, put it on hold.
It's for reasons like that why I don't get 100%ing LPs.
Yeah, see, I'm the same way. There are very few games that I'll ever go bother to 100%, because I think that most people that want, this information that we put up of us playing through a game, if they want to play through it themselves and they'll watch our series of videos, they don't want to sit through all that 100%ness and have to, fast forward and butcher up videos.
Even still, if they want a 100% walkthrough, well, first off, what are the chances they'd go to one of our Let's Plays? And second off, if they really wanted a 100% walkthrough, they could look up a 100% walkthrough. I find Let's Plays are more about the character, the person talking.
Well, the entertainment. It's always about finding that informative and entertaining, features and putting them together in equal parts, preferably. Although some people are really, look at H.C. Bailey. My God, that guy. Jeez. I don't know
he can be entertaining when he wants. Well, I don't know if he ever tries, but sometimes he's really entertaining. He's just when he's freaking out of character.
It's just crazy that he's he'll sit through a game that's a really long RPG, a 50-60 hour RPG, and he'll literally practice it 2 or 3 times, getting 100% in it before he does a Let's Play of it. That's just insane by anyone's standards. That should be insane. So
I would definitely agree.
But anyhow, Super Nintendo. Actually, I'm finally getting back to the Super Nintendo myself. We're going to start up a brand new Let's Play tomorrow of it. And by we, I'm talking about the colloquial sense, me kind of thing. Anyhow. Yeah. Let's do a rundown of some of the best Super Nintendo games.
George Foreman KO Boxing.
George Foreman KO Boxing. Definitely on the list for obvious reasons.
I'm just going to throw Donkey Kong Country 2 out there. Just saying.
Link to the Past.
Kind of
just saying.
Link to the Past, hands down.
Definitely good.
Is Link to the Past the best, though, is the question.
It's the second best game of all time.
Link to the Past is the absolute best Zelda game of all time, and
I completely agree with Liam. That is my favorite Zelda, hands down.
It seems to be, hands down. I mean, just based on the sheer number of times that you see Let's Plays of that, because I swear, that's got to be in the top 10 of, most LP games ever.
The The only reason I would say that Link to the Past is better than Ocarina of Time is because you can just pick it up and play. Ocarina of Time, if you're going to play it regularly, you need like 9 hours.
Mm.
So Link to the Past, you can be done in 3 hours, even if you don't entirely know what you're doing.
Well, that's how I feel about like playing the original Legend of Zelda, which is the only one that I've ever beaten, and I swear I will play through Link to the Past. I don't know about Ocarina of Time because I don't have an N64, but there's emulators obviously. But that's what I say to people about the original Legend of Zelda. That game is so crazy to try to figure out if you just pick it up and play it. But once
it's cryptic.
Once you know where you're going, you can beat that game in an hour and a half. I think my total playtime was for it. So,
Bad.
But anyhow, back to like awesome Super Nintendo games because
Super Mario World.
You can't go wrong with back when they used to give you a video game with their video game console. Back in my day,
you could do something other than sit there and stare.
I'm gonna look at it.
What? Did you not like Wii Fit?
Wii Sports.
I don't know if you know.
Sorry,
but
Wii
I don't
Sports.
even own a current generation system at all.
You don't?
No,
Wow.
well, when they came out, I was like in the midst of college, and I probably didn't even have a job at the time. So it was just, by the time I finished up school, I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna wait till the next generation comes out. And now, finally, the next generation is kind of on the horizon.
Also, I got a question. Is your name actually Johnny Cage, or is that a reference to Mortal Kombat?
Well, no, that's really my real name. No, that would be weird if it was. No, my real name is John, but I actually got that name because I'm really good at fighting games in like my circle of friends. Like in tournament wise, I don't know if I'm all that great, but and then I got it while I was taking martial arts with some buddies, and my name just became Johnny Cage. And then I just changed up the letters so it wasn't spelled exactly like Johnny Cage is in Mortal Kombat, and it stuck.
Cool.
Yep, that's how that came to be.
Johnny, I have to give you respect for not being like Alta and claiming you're the best at fighting games in general in a tournament setting.
Oh, well, we're still going to go at it in Smash Brothers Brawl at Megafest. Don't you worry about it, man.
Yeah, we also got a grudge match. It's gonna happen.
And these two guys went at it already. And there's video of that on YouTube, and them going at it, but...
It's pretty pathetic on my part, but I got him in MagFest. It's all good.
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to face Ulta. Having never played the game before, I'm just going to button mash and I'm going to beat it and watch.
There's nothing
One of those
nothing more terrible than a play like that. But, oh well. I don't know. I mean, my favorite fighting games of all time have always been the Street Fighter series. I just feel...
I agree.
I mean, they've just always been solid. There's never been one that I dislike. I think that all fighting games... I mean, we were talking a bit about, like... the Marvel vs. Capcom games, for instance. I think that really good fighting games are always in 2D. There's just something about them in 2D. I do like some of the early... Like, I like Soul Calibur 1 and Soul Calibur 2 as well. But for me, I'll take 2D fighting any day.
I was always a pretty big Killer Instinct fan, also.
Yeah.
Really?
Mortal Kombat was alright, don't get me wrong, but Street Fighter and Killer Instinct...
Well, it's funny you say that.
Excuse the pun, killed Mortal Kombat.
It's funny you say that, because I was actually... perusing the internet last night, and I went to Angry Video Game Nerd, James Rolfe, his website, Cinemassacre, and his latest video is like his like, I don't know, his hindsights, his memories, that's the word he uses, memories on Killer Instinct. And I was thinking about it, and it's like, well, it's funny, because that game's all about combos, and then I thought about like Mortal Kombat 3, and because when it got to Mortal Kombat 3, it was all about the combos as well. And
the roll feature.
Yeah, it was like they had to change because like Killer Instinct was doing so great, and I have Killer Instinct for the Super Nintendo, but I just don't play it that much. I'm more likely to play Super Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat. I wish I had Mortal Kombat 2 because I think that was the best Mortal Kombat up until
Toasty.
Toasty in it, but up until the the new one came out for the PS3 and the 360. I think that was definitely the best one.
Some of the best fighting games were actually for the Neo Geo, because you had Fatal Fury and Samurai Showdown.
Samurai, yeah. I've got Fatal Fury for, I think it's Fatal Fury Special, not to be confused with the first one for the Super Nintendo. But I don't play that one very much either. And Samurai Showdown, I don't know, there's something about like those Neo Geo games. They were like, well, first of all, it was Neo Geo. It was a system that nobody had, really.
Oh, it was an arcade thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you could buy the system. It was just really expensive, from what I understand.
And the cartridges looked like bricks. because they were huge.
Is that what they got? Yeah, it's like a whole, arcade board inside of a cartridge, essentially. I don't know. I mean, they have the King of the Fighters series. I actually play a lot of Capcom versus SNK when that was popular. But any of those versus games are a lot of fun to play. Let's see. Other great Super Nintendo games. Castlevania 4. Fun.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm on the City Massacre website, so I'm looking at the Angry Video Game Nerd's top 10 favorite Super Nintendo games of all time.
I'm gonna spoil something. I'm playing that at some point in the future.
Which one? Castlevania 4?
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, dang, I have no point to live now. I already know it.
Shut up, Alta.
I was planning on Let's Playing Castlevania 3 around Halloween, because I did Castlevania 1 last year at Halloween, so... And of course, no one wants to play Castlevania 2, let's be honest. Not his quest.
When I'm done Banjo-Tooie, then I'm doing Shadow of the Colossus, and after that, Castlevania 4.
Oh yeah, nice.
Blind.
If I ever complete an LP series, I have a list.
Alta, you had to complete a series of Let's Play.
That's really the joke, isn't it?
I technically Mega Man 3 with Johnny counted.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
And my next 4 Let's Plays are going to be...
I plan very far ahead because I don't plan on quitting anytime soon.
Yeah, well...
Oh, no, I just do 4 at a time.
If you would have asked me, 5 months ago, I could have given you a list of, 10 games. Now I'm, just looking desperately for something that I really want to do. But I've got...
8 of them were NES, and you finished them all already.
I gotta get some sort of video capturing equipment. Gotta bust out the GameCube and the PS2. Work my way up to the modern era of gaming, I suppose.
Just get a $50 Dazzle.
I probably will, down the line. After MakeFest.
Fighting robot.
Let's see, Chrono Trigger, of course. Everyone loves Chrono Trigger.
Of course.
If you haven't played Chrono Trigger and you're listening to this, play Chrono Trigger. Believe the hype, because that is honestly an amazing RPG. And maybe you're
Amazing
not familiar.
music, too.
Yeah, and maybe you're not familiar with it, because obviously Final Fantasy still is, I don't want to say they're the status quo, because they haven't done a lot of good since Final Fantasy X, if you ask me. But,
I would agree.
they're obviously still, when you think RPG, you think Final Fantasy. So.
Oh, have you guys ever heard of The Last Story?
The Last Story? Nope.
I've heard of it.
Oh, because you have a Wii, you wouldn't have heard of it, but it came out on. It's like the last good game on the Wii. It's supposed to be the last good game that comes out on the Wii before the Wii U, and it's by the original creator of the Final Fantasy games and Nobuo Uematsu.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
did
game
hear
called
about
again?
that.
So I know to
The
get it.
Last Story,
I'll get
but
Story. I have a feeling
But I
that's
hear
going
it
to be
didn't
one of
do
those
well.
games that's going to go up really high in price if people don't buy a lot of it because they're looking to, invest in the Wii U. So.
yeah, kinda. I was just in GameStop today, and they said that it didn't sell very well, and it wasn't received entirely well because combat system in the story was kind of weird.
Well, sometimes you have weird combat in games. You just kind of have to get used to it, but you have a good game
Yeah.
otherwise.
Weird
Or stop
storylines aren't anything new. I mean, watch an anime. Watch any anime. You'll be like, oh, storyline makes sense.
Anime. My gosh. My love affair with anime. I don't know. I could go on about that for a long time.
Johnny, anime.
Me and my anime. It just, after a while, after you see, 100 anime where the ending of it is that the hero dies to save some princess or whatever, but then magically gets resurrected, you just kind of gotta throw in the towel. That's...
Well, if you're interested in anime games where that kinda but doesn't happen, play Persona.
Yeah, I've always been
awesome
interested. I remember being at a GameStop. I don't know why I was in a GameStop. I'd rather not talk about it. But I remember, this was before, because I'm sure they don't have any, PS2 games in a GameStop anymore. But I was there, and they had a shelf of games still, and they were selling Persona 4 for, pretty cheap, I think, relative, because I know it kind of goes for a bit of a price. But I was really tempted to buy it, but I just don't know enough about them, really. I know they're kind of anime-ish, but...
It's ridiculously anime.
Yeah, see, that might turn me off to it, because...
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
It's funny because, how you bring up the character dying at the end, but then magically being resurrected. At the end of Persona, your character dies, but he dies at the end.
Spoilers.
Oh, whatever.
No,
Never
he died.
even know.
It's funny because him dying isn't even in the main story. It's in the side story that you can play immediately.
Huh. So main character can just die right away, and then what? You just go on with the side.
Well, no, it's just you start the second game, and it's like, oh, your character's dead, but you're like, what character? Who? What?
Uh-huh.
Why is everyone
Persona
crying?
3, right? Yeah.
Who was
It's
that?
Persona 3 FES.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Some random person died, and I don't care about them.
No. I'm not
This is
invested in that
terrible.
character
The thing
yet.
is, if you actually do play through the game, you get really invested in that character.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it can be really... Sometimes I don't, get that feeling of it. In that sense, like Lufia 2. Because Lufia 2, man, like, no one talks about that except for me. And maybe a select few other people.
I've heard good
That
things.
game's so long.
It's a game. It's the game that just wouldn't end for me. I think I played that game for like 10 months before I finally got around to finishing it. But
You did an LP of that, didn't you?
yeah. Well, I actually,
yeah.
I actually owned the game for Super Nintendo because I remember just not getting the the N64 when it came out. So instead, my parents bought me this random game, and I don't know what appealed to me about it because it was the first RPG that I had ever played, and that at least I remember playing. And now it's like one of the most valuable games for the Super Nintendo, and it's pretty good RPG. And yeah, I'm like, I'll play through it again, sure. It's got such a sad ending to it, though. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
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 I remember watching a few videos of that, and I'm like, why is your character level 9 or 99? Is
Because I level grind like crazy.
yeah.
It's it's too tempting when you're playing on an emulator and you have a button that you can hold down to make things go at 300 times the speed.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I really do love level grinding in games though. So and I take it to the extreme a lot of times. Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Utarai actually, he got a bunch of games for me from America, and I apparently live in Imagination Land, according to someone. And
So does a myth.
It's a real
I live in
Actually, it's
Imagination.
funny you should mention that because I wanted to talk to Johnny about the how he was talking how GameStop is bad. The one good thing I like about them is if for whatever reason maybe the gaming gods are smiling on you one day and you find a rare game in GameStop, they have to sell it for like the low $10 price if it's old. That's actually how I got that Pikmin 2 copy that I traded to Alta for $100+ worth of games.
Oh, there you go. That's a good deal right
Oh, that
there.
trade actually went
it was
through.
worth it. It was worth every penny that I...
I mean, that's
Probably
a
would.
pretty rare exception, though. I mean, it's just my problem with GameStop is the same problem that everyone else has, where you take in some games, you're just like trying to sell it to them. They'll give you maybe like a quarter of the price they're worth, and all you get is store credit.
that.
You
anyway,
get
so-
exactly
You're lucky.
9.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know what you mean, Johnny. I hate them
yeah.
so much.
But,
So very, very much.
but anyhow, yeah. No, talking
that's
about
for the-
talking about fighting games. Turtles in Time. That's an amazing game. That I wish I should probably buy that for the Super Nintendo. Because that's just one of those games that you just want to pick up and play every now and again. Like, talking about, Final Fight with Genrei. That was just, one of those games. Because me and my brother, if we weren't playing fighting games, we were playing, side-scrolling beat-em-ups all the freaking time. That's all we played. Just mindless button-mashing goodness.
What's everyone's
the
favorite
beat-em-ups.
Street Fighter character?
Why don't you start, Udarai?
Favorite what?
I'm sure
Street
everyone
Fighter
knows my favorite Street Fighter character. I don't even have to say it.
Is it Chun-Li?
No,
Because she's Asian?
no, you don't have to say it.
Yes, good job, Johnny.
You do?
What?
What's your favorite Street Fighter character?
Never played it.
My God.
By default,
Just say Ryu.
Ryu.
I like the one from Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. There you go.
I remember buying Street Fighter 2 because I was in a Toys R Us, and that's the whole reason I bought a Super Nintendo to begin with. And it was just watching video of it playing on a demo, and it was Dalsim, the guy that has the really long, stretchy limbs. And I was like, well, I need to have that. That guy's got stretchy limbs, gotta have it. And
Gotta have
that was literally how it went forever. And they had a kiosk, which is sadly something they don't have in video game stores anymore. Not that there are many of them outside of GameStop, but we had a setup of Super or just regular Street Fighter 2. But people used to gather at that. It was inside of a Toys R Us, mind you. But people used to gather at that like it was a freaking arcade after school.
I remember those.
There would be 12 people around that, just getting in line, challenging one another. It was insane. You'll never see one of those again.
Dalsim, the character that beats your ass when you're playing against him, but if you're using him, you can't hit nobody for nothing.
It's a very particular character. Doesn't help that he jumps really slowly, but Oh, yeah, I didn't stay with him long, and now I always play as Ryu whenever I'm playing like Street Fighter 4 over at a buddy's.
Hadouken!
Thanks, Alta.
There you go. That was good and necessary.
I don't know. I have an affinity with Sakura. You know,
she's good. She just
right.
is pretty much just a. Well, I don't want to call her a lesser version than Ryu, but I mean it's like the same thing, but just slightly modified.
Well, she's a smaller target. She hits just as hard, and she's a lot faster.
That's true. I mean, I've got nothing wrong with her. I think I used to play with her a lot in the what were they, like the Alpha games? Yeah, the Street Fighter Alpha series, which I think is where she got introduced anyway. But anyhow, I'm no fighting game historian. All I do is play Mega Man and Pokemon. Anything that ends with a man, I'll play it.
You know, there was a Mortal Kombat, I think it was for PlayStation 2, it was really cool and really amazing. And one of the unlockable things, you'd actually go down into this dungeon, there'd be a bunch of coffins there, and you'd hear this, like, morbid screaming of people being tortured, and that's, like, the one thing that stuck out for me for any Mortal Kombat game. And any fighting game, I think, is worth playing. It's the one fighting game... No, wait, Brawl. Never mind, what am I talking about? Anyway, for any PlayStation, it's got to be Mortal Kombat.
That was Deadly Alliance.
Was it really? I gotta buy that.
Yeah, did you just like sit there with that terrible moaning noise on in the background as you went to sleep, Alta? So like made for good nighttime music.
Well, again, I sleep or my uncle died, so it wouldn't be too different. You know, I don't know if I've said that enough. I sleep in the same room, in the same spot, in the same level, same bed.
That's very creepy, Alta. Very creepy.
I am a very poor
adult.
Yeah, we need to leave now. Let's see. Well, we mentioned Super Metroid, obviously.
No, we didn't.
Well,
you
Billy
did.
Billy
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Well, what can we say about Super Metroid that hasn't been said before? I mean, that was 1994, like the best year for the Super Nintendo. You got Donkey Kong Country 1, Super Metroid, Final Fantasy 3. I mean, that is probably one of the best years in video gaming in general right there. So, boom, Super Metroid. People love it. I don't really. It's not my cup of tea, but that's just me.
I'm very surprised no one has said Earthbound yet.
Oh, that's
Earthbound
true.
is very good. Yeah.
I've never played it, but I know
Never
there's
played
like
Earthbound?
cult
Never played
following.
it.
Never just like on the urge to just like load it up on an emulator and give it a try, see what it's all about.
I started watching a Let's Play, and then I don't know, made it a couple episodes in, and I've never, I don't know.
Clearly it wasn't mine, or else you'd have heard me scream like a girl being angry.
I had that urge, and that ended pretty quick.
I mean, what that game does really well, above anything else, is
Annoy you into the ground?
well, no, well, maybe for you, I guess. I don't know. There are some annoying parts. I'll give you that, but it does a great job of making you feel like you're an actual like 10-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid that's going out and trying to save the world. And
I love Earthbound.
that's something that like so many games like they don't even like really try to do, but you'll have really young protagonists. And they're supposed to be, you know, acting like they're young kids, but they're not acting like they're young kids whatsoever, you know. But I mean, you have Ness, and he gets homesick even occasionally. You know, he has to call his mom because he's like so far away from home, and he's trying to save the world. And his dad puts money into his bank account. That's how you get money for everything.
His dad calls you at the most inopportune times to tell you, you've been playing too long.
He does. Like, you should probably take a break and go outside. It's like before the Wii warning screen that said the same thing.
Did anyone ever wonder, what does his dad do to get all that money?
He's a big meth dealer.
I try not to think about it.
Oh,
He's the guy from Breaking Bad. There you go.
I like
No, I'm
it.
pretty sure
He did
Bill
that.
Nye is the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh.
You know, there was a rumor going around that Bill Nye died.
No, not Bill Nye.
He's not dead. He wasn't a real scientist either.
Dude, there are
Isn't that really
rumors of
sad?
that stuff like all the time. Whenever you haven't seen an old celebrity for a while, people will always say that stuff, and it's terrible.
Alta, the fuck are you talking about? Bill Nye's a real scientist. He has a degree in everything.
He has a degree in being cool.
Hold on. I read somewhere that he's literally just an actor. If that...
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
He's Dr. Bill Nye.
Dr. Bill. Maybe he has an honorary degree or something like that.
You know, you can have a doctorate in cooking, okay? Right?
No, you can't.
You can have a doctorate in, technology.
You
I
can
could
have
be
a
a
doctor
doctor of
in,
computer science.
And
There is a doctorate in music, which is kind of weird, so yes, you're right.
Qualifies you to be a
Trust
music
me,
teacher.
I'm a doctor. Now play this cello.
No. In order to do a hard bypass, you need to use a frickin' xylophone.
He has a bachelor's degree in science from Cornell University.
Close enough.
There you go.
Do we need to take, like, what, like,
8.
not even 30? 8 credits? How many
Dude,
credits
it's
do you need?
Cornell. It's one of the best schools in the nation.
Well, still.
You can't.
Don't you talk shit about Bill Nye ever again.
You should probably go
fine.
write him an apology letter right after this.
Right now. That's right.
He's gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? No. Well,
He
good.
would appreciate that apology letter. You better write
You
that.
should probably
I
say
do want to say, Uto, that actually has probably made my night. The fact that realizing now that I know that he's a scientist. Thank you.
No. All right, back to games. No more Bill Nye. Jeez.
No more heroes.
All right. Well, one of the best racing games for the Super Nintendo has got to be, and I'm not going to say Mario Kart. I'm going to say F-Zero.
F-Zero, thank you.
Yeah.
Then,
I like Captain
Then again,
Falcon.
when you think about all the race, there aren't too many racing games for the Super Nintendo that I can even think of.
Not really.
One of the ones that
comes
comes to mind immediately is Rock and Roll Racing.
Oh, there we go.
Like, awesome soundtrack.
That
Killer soundtrack.
might be better than F-Zero, actually. F-Zero does a really good job of making you feel like you're going insanely fast, which is cool. I mean, Rock and Roll Racing has that whole isometric point of view, which is kind of screwy and something you kind of have to get used to.
Yeah.
But, it does have Black Sabbath on it, amongst other great bands. So, in all their 16-bit glory.
What about Stunt Race?
Stunt Race FX, I was going to bring that up because I actually own that one. And, I don't know, I really jumped on the whole FX chip when that got really popular in, the 93 era, whenever the original Star Fox came out. But that's not really that great of a game. I mean, it just, it looks like a mess when you're playing it. It really does. Very hard to control everything. You just can't recommend that one.
What about Super Off-Road?
Super Off-Road, that's great. I mean, great for both the Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo. Regular Nintendo, I think I like it even more because it's one of the few games that has a 4-player capability. But then again, you need to find the, multi-tap for that, so.
Good luck getting one of those.
Yeah, probably. But, I don't know, it's probably not as hard to find as you think. Probably not any harder than, the top loader is. Video games. Yay!
Video games.
Video games. I can't help but think of the video game song at that panel. The wrong panel.
The wrong button.
The wrong.
We walked into the wrong panel. How does this happen to us?
I don't... It was the dumbest thing ever. We're just sitting down and we're like... I'm talking to Johnny about how the Runaway guys, oh yeah, these are the screens and they're just going to project the game out there and it's going to be like an RPG. But I wonder why I don't see anyone. And this guy walks up with a guitar and everyone's cheering and me and Jack just look at each other. We're like, yeah? Who are you?
Uh-oh, now this is happening.
Guitar guy has finally come
Oh,
back.
boy. So what was...
He's the original Guitar Hero.
What was the Runaway guys panel like, anyway?
Oh, it was absolutely beautiful.
Well, I would assume so. What do they do? Do they always do the same thing, or is it something different?
It was different from PAX East, but it's the same concept. It's... Instead of just being Q&A, because you can imagine them being the Runaway guys, they'd get a lot of questions like, oh, how do you record, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they tried to eliminate that by just making it more interactive, and it's basically it's a game with it's hard to explain.
Well, I've kind of seen it. I mean, I've seen a video from I don't know where, but is it just like trivia? They ask trivia questions more or less.
Trivia and games and challenges.
And
Yeah, trivia and video game challenges.
All right. Okay. I think I saw a video of Proton John setting that up at his school in Calgary, I want to say, and they had a challenge of getting through. I think it was the first tank in Mario 3. Only being small. So yeah, stuff like that. That would be fun. But I'm sure it was packed. They probably have 300-400 people in there.
I think it got up to actually only 180, which is, when you think about the LP community, that's actually not bad.
That's
180 people actually coming there.
Yeah, and taking time out of their day, because whenever...
Who are Let's Players.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I think of conventions, I went to the same anime convention for 5 years, and I only ever sat in on, I think, 2 panels ever, because I just felt like I didn't know if I was going to enjoy myself, and they take up a lot of time. And so I would have rather just been walking the floor, you know, looking at cool stuff and buying swag and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, some panels are worth going to, especially if you know the people that are going to be there. So I'd imagine the Runaway guys would be pretty awesome.
Oh, most definitely.
Did you get to shake Sugar Conroy's hand?
Actually, I didn't, because we had a very uncomfortable run-in on the first day, which I will not talk about in fear of being smoked.
Did you kick him in the nuts?
No.
It's funny because no.
He can,
Shut
he
up.
Can show you.
Don't throw me under the bus, Alta.
I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. Don't. If Sugar Conroy gets kicked in the nuts by any random person, I'll take the blame for it. Just saying out, but
Delightful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Alta.
Indeed.
You did not save yourself at all in that, by the way.
I don't care.
Let's see.
Were there any voice actors at PAX, Liam?
Voice actors?
Yeah, like voice actor panels, like Steve Blum.
I'm sure there were, but I wasn't sure. I know for a fact Ego Raptor was not there.
He's going to be at MakeFest, though.
Yes, he will.
Oh, are you serious? Is JonTron going to be there too?
I don't know. I don't know if JonTron goes around to conventions at all.
He doesn't
Either
seem like a
way,
convention type.
Ego Raptor. Oh my gosh.
But
Ego Raptor's cool. Send him Ramune. I hear he likes Ramune.
oh, really? Okay, I'll go pick some up before I go, maybe. Actually, we have a really nice Japanese market, like maybe half an hour away from me. It's just gigantic, and I go there every month. Really cool place to check out.
Can I please, for the love of Batman, go with you to the Japanese market?
Maybe.
So you are familiar with what Ramune is, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went to Japan for school too. So I studied Japanese and Japanese culture for 3 years in college. So,
Cool.
yeah. But oh yeah, I know Ramune, and I don't know. I mean, it's pretty good. There's not really any sugar in it, I don't think. I mean,
What is it's just juice, right?
it's not really just. It tastes like if you get the regular Ramune that doesn't say it has a flavor on it, it tastes a lot like Sprite.
That's good.
Yeah, but then they probably have like a dozen or so flavors of it that you can do. The cool thing about Ramune by far is the fact that there's a marble in it. There's a marble on the top,
that's
and
the
you kind of
coolest part.
break off the top of it, and you got to shove this plunger down onto the marble to get it unstuck so you can actually drink the drink. But if you don't do it really quickly, the whole thing kind of explodes on you. So there's a real trick to it.
It makes it more rewarding.
It does make it more rewarding. And then you can always break the bottle afterwards and get a marble and collect Ramune marbles if you want to.
Wait, you're telling me here's a drink. If you don't do it right, you have no drink.
No, well, I mean,
Congratulations.
it explodes like if you open up a shake can of pop. You're not going to lose the whole thing, but it's going to explode on you.
Oh, I thought you meant if you don't push the marble down.
What's even worse is if you... that wouldn't market very well. But it's
Are you
kind of
kidding me?
Well,
I'd buy
the
exploding.
worst part is if you screw up the plunger thing, you really got to refund that thing. But if you screw it up and throw out your plunger by accident because you don't know what you're doing, there's no way you're getting that thing out.
It can be really tricky to figure that out. You might as well just
At that point,
bust the
you're
top of it off, you know.
Or buy another one and just use the plunger
Well,
twice.
they're pretty cheap all in all. I don't know. Whenever I go there, I always like to get the fixins for curry and make myself a good Japanese curry. But
It's actually funny we were talking about that drink, because I remember when I went to the Asian market last year, I actually bought one of those, and I'm just sitting there looking at it wait a minute, now what the fuck do I do? And then a random Asian guy comes up to me, and he's just here, let me see. He grabs it, and he just really quickly does it and hands it back to me, and I'm just wait, what just happened?
It's something you grow up with. That's what happens when you live in a vending machine society like Japan is.
Oh, really?
Man.
Why don't they just have twist-off covers like we do?
That'd be too easy.
That wouldn't be fun.
It would be too easy to
why
get
are
a
beer?
convenient
It's
drink.
like beer lids. You have to use a bottle opener. If anything, this is easier.
In Japan, everything's a game. Try to figure it out, because it's a game. You look at the toilet, and there's 30 buttons on it, and you're which one do I press?
You look to the right, there's a claw machine. You look to the left, there's karaoke. They're both games.
Oh yeah.
Am I right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I was just about to say, they do have tons of arcades. They have what they call Club Segas everywhere in Japan, and if you go into them, they're always because Japan's built up. In America and probably Canada for the most part. Obviously, we're not too different, but everything's built out. It's all like giant Walmart that's just one floor, and it's just like built outwards. In Japan, everything's built on top, so you could probably have something that's the same size as like a Walmart, but instead it's made up of like 5 or 6 stories tall. As far as arcades go, most of them were 2 stories tall, and the bottom floor, I want to say every one that I went into, was nothing but the UFO catcher, which is the claw machine, and photo booths. That was it. Like, every single one.
Woohoo.
But, I don't know.
See,
Arcades were pretty weird.
That's one of the really cool things about Persona. It makes fun of that.
Yeah.
Great success.
Well, the one thing we did find out, because we went to a university at one point, and we were talking with all these Japanese people, and we asked them about it, like why that was, so many of these claw machines everywhere. And because in America, like if you wanted something out of a claw machine, you could find someone that like works at the arcade or like works at wherever you might be, and you could say, "Can you just open up the door and I'll pay you cash for that toy in there?" But in Japan, there's a very strict policy of not doing that whatsoever.
Wait,
Really?
you can do that? Wait.
You could do that anywhere.
You serious?
You could go to Chuck E. Cheese
Oh, yeah.
and you could pay for stuff off the wall.
I didn't know you could do that. You kidding me?
It kind of cuts out the middleman. It's like, well, now I just bought something, and that's very overpriced, and I didn't have that fun that goes with it.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money I spent on crane games?
Exactly.
Every time
Did
I
you
go?
have
So,
fun?
literally, well, only when I win. I spent, because, when you don't win, then you feel like, a total, loser. I went to Toys R Us one day. I spent $5 on, I think it was 50 cents per play, so I played 10 times or so, trying to get just one little bear for one of my ex-girlfriends. She was my girlfriend at the time.
No.
And it was just after $5, they're trying to drag me away, and I'm like, no, one more. I'm like, no.
So the moral of the story, if it's not really a moral at all, but the thing about the story is that people carry those around on backpacks, and you'll see little trinkets on people's cell phones in Japan a lot, and they kind of carry them as a sign of pride. It's I was skillful enough to get this. And it's pretty crazy, it's Japan.
I was skillful enough at a machine to get
I was
this.
skillful enough to get to this, whatever.
Have you guys ever seen those one where they have the mega prizes where literally in the machine, it's huge. It's really hard to do, but all they have is mega prizes like Wii's and Xbox.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, last time I was at Six Flags last year, they had one that had PS3s in it.
How big would the claw have to be to catch a PS3?
It's big. It's how much is it to play? It's around $5, isn't it?
Probably at Six Flags, they'll just take all your money, and your firstborn. It's Six Flags, and enjoy yourself.
All your money, firstborn, go have fun.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Yeah. Well, I guess if there's nothing much else to talk about, although there always is, but I think we've gone on long enough. So I want to thank everyone for joining us here for Friday Night Skype. Everyone that's been listening, thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Johnny Cage. I want to thank Noxxxxxxxxxxx. Go check out his channel. Be a link down below. Our special guest, awesome Let's Player, even Minecraft builder extraordinaire. Want to thank Liam again for just being an awesome guy and joining us and telling us all of his awesome pack stories. And
no problem.
if you haven't been to a convention, look one up around you. It's totally worth it. If I would have known how awesome they were, I would have been going to them long before I started going to them. So, anyhow, everyone, have a good night. This is FNS, signing out.
Last word.
Bye.
Good night.
Damn it. Last